Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very sorry to keep you waiting a few minutes. I had meetings this noon with the Prime Minister of Australia, and our discussions lasted a few minutes longer than we had anticipated. And then we had a meeting with the White House Fellows, both the current year's group and those that will be serving in the White House beginning in September. This is a highly competitive group, as you know. John Gardner is the head of our new selection committee. We had 1,334 people who were considered, and we could only choose 14 of them. And they will be working in the White House with the cabinet members and with the Vice President. And also we'll have a chance to meet with about 300 leaders of our government and private industry as well during the next 12 months. It's a superb program, and as you can see, the competition is very similar to what it is in the advertising industry when you seek a good client. I'd like to say a few words, about 3 or 4 minutes, and then spend a few additional minutes answering perhaps a few questions that you might have. I know that you've already had a chance to listen to Jim Schlesinger, and perhaps I could add a little to what he said. We have spent the last 4, 5, 6 months trying to bring some commitment among the American people to correct a long-standing deficiency in the consciousness and in the lifestyle of our great country. We have an impending shortage of energy which can be almost catastrophic if it's not dealt with early and effectively. I've evolved, along with Dr. Schlesinger and many others, a comprehensive proposal and presented it to the Congress on April the 20th. They are now dealing with its component parts in a very difficult way. I recognize the complexity of it. The Congress, I think, and I will be much better able to constantly improve our own nation's husbanding of scarce energy supplies and the more efficient use of those that we consume if the public is aware of the facts. And I can't do this alone. The first week I was on television frequently and tried to project to the American people my own deep concerns. But that cannot be a continuing thing. And your cumulative education program can correct this inherent deficiency in our system of government. I have never had any doubts about the ability of American people to make the right judgment if they are all given the facts. And if they can assess those facts, their cumulative decision, in my opinion, will always be for the best interest of our nation and, in almost every instance, the rest of the world. We have a major challenge here because the insidious growth of the problem is not easily detected at this early stage. But the deterioration in our supply levels of all kinds of energy is inevitable. I know the effectiveness with which you have undertaken public programs in the past at great sacrifice to yourselves. There would have been no way to pay for the beneficial effects that you generated in our nation in times of war, in combating forest fires, in dealing with the problems of the handicapped, in educating the American people about our veterans' needs, and in many other fields, including the purchase of American government bonds, things that are beneficial to those who participate, but which have to be explained before they can help themselves. This program, in spite of the great importance of those I've outlined, is likely to be the most important one you've ever undertaken. And I consider you to be my partner in this process and the partner of those in the Congress who are now have undertaken this very difficult assignment. Self-reliance and the exertion of extraordinary energies to bring about exemplification to our educational institutions, agriculture, government at all levels is very important to us. Perhaps I doubt that anyone knows accurately how much oil, gas, uranium, oil, coal still remains to be discovered. Our own estimates, I felt, were quite accurate and reasonably conservative. The subsequent analyses that have been done by independent groups have confirmed basically that our own estimates are fairly accurate. Nothing would please me more than to find that we had underestimated the reserve supplies of those energy sources. But regardless of how much is there can be no arguing with the fact that waste of those supplies is counterproductive to our nation's and the world's best interest. I don't feel that tight supplies in our own country are going to continue to drop off 6% per year in spite of an increase in exploration effort of 18 to 21% per year. I don't know. We have no way to anticipate what will evolve in the future. But I think that the order of magnitude of error is fairly small, and the rapid increase in demand in an exponential way show that a doubling in supplies of say, oil or natural gas will only extend the time period from 5 to 10 years. So no matter what the estimates might be as far as accuracy is concerned, the need for conservation is great. We are trying to approach this question on a multi-energy source basis. One of the reasons that I'm late today is because Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser and I and our staff members and cabinet members had a long discussion about the question of non-proliferation, how to make sure that nations can shift more and more toward atomic power as a source of electricity and energy, and at the same time eliminate the increase in the number of nations that can develop atomic explosions. And we, the Canadians, Australia, Britain, and others, I think have turned around world opinion on this subject in the last 6 months. I think it's accurate to say that half a year ago, nobody thought that we could reverse the trend toward nuclear explosive proliferation. Now I think there's a general sense among the consuming and supplier nations of atomic fuels that we can indeed control the additional spread of atomic weapons. So the estimates of what we have and what we need